Good afternoon, Ms. Jones and Ms. Buckney. My name is Omar Alavez, and I attend Da Vinci Design High School. And today I will be presenting you my English 10 and Modern World History Winter POL. I'm going to start off with English. For English, we had to do a characterization analysis. My thesis statement was Guy Montag is both a hero and villain throughout the novel. But this all changes when he starts to feel more and more guilty for what he is doing and realizes all the good he was supposedly doing was not so good at all. My first quote was in the book was Fool thought Montag to himself, you gave it all away. At the last fire, a book of fairy tales, he glanced at a single line. He said, in the old days before home, we are completely fireproof. We're completely fireproof. Suddenly it seemed a much younger voice is speaking for him. He opened his mouth and it was Clarice McLean saying, didn't firemen prevent fires rather than choke them up and get them going? In this quotation, Montag avoids being guilty of betraying his duties by focusing his actions on something else, which is Clarice in this statement. My second quote was, nobody listens anymore. I can't talk to the walls because they're yelling at me. I can't talk to my wife. She's listening to the walls. I just want someone to hear what I have to say, and maybe if I talk long enough, it'll make sense. And I just want to teach you. I want you to teach me to understand what I read. Montag never reads the books because he doesn't want to feel like guilty or break the law But this quote further explains that he didn't read them because he didn't understand them. He didn't want to understand it. He didn't want. He wanted someone to teach him. My third and final quote is, so it was the hand that started it all. His hands have been infected, and as soon it would be his arms. His hands were renvious. In this quote, it's when Montag steals the books from the old woman's house. He feels his guiltiness shows that when he wasn't doing it on purpose. He said that his crimes were self-aware, and his hands was doing everything. He blames his hands, not himself. Yeah. Thank you.
So how is he a hero? Because you give me a lot of evidence on why we would consider him a villain, per se. How is he a hero? That's what you said in your basic statement. And he's both a hero and a villain. So you give me evidence for a villain, which is great. How's he a hero?
When he meets Clarice, he not exactly falls in love with her, because I didn't read the book thoroughly, I'm not gonna lie, but he's portrayed as a hero because he's this big fireman type guy. He's helping people, which in the story, he's not really helping people.
Okay, got it. Explain what. No. Mentally back up. So, okay, I get where you're going with hero. Define what you mean by hero. Let's do that.
He's a hero to a certain extent, which he thinks he's helping the people because that's what he's lived for, to be a fireman, but he's really not.
Why?
Because he's burning books that.
Why is he burning books?
Because that's what he was trained to do. He was born and trained to do, to burn books.
Does he know why he's supposed to burn books?
No.
Why?
because we live in an idealistic society, which they were just trained to know that that's what they have to do.
What drives him to burn books?
He feels happy to burn them.
Okay. Why does he think he feels happy? We know this so far.
Because he believes that that's like his choice. He wants to burn the books to be happy.
Why does he believe that it's his choice? Or what is making him feel happy and that all the things that he's doing is his choice? And how is it that this one little 17-year-old girl can rattle him that much?
Because he's blinded by what he sees.
That is a characteristic. He's blinded by what?
By this girl. By this, like,
What does the girl represent?
his like, outside of the box. She thinks, like,
That's characterizing a character. That is an analysis of a character. Not just throwing all these quotes at me, but explain to me why. Break it down. Go on with history.
okay. Okay. For history POL, I have to do essential skill to revolution. My thesis statement for revolution was the French and American Revolution, although they had many similarities, they had many differences as well. Knowing that the French Revolution did in fact fail, that's supposed to say fail, to reach its goals, the American Revolution did not. Without the French Revolution, France and England would still have their monarchy and power today, which the French Revolution limited the power of the monarch, but they really didn't complete, they changed their whole goals at the end. The American Revolution brought us today the longest and still in use Constitution.
Wait, no. Take a moment to process this paragraph. How long should a thesis statement be?
Sentence.
If you were to summarize this all in one sentence,
The first sentence.
okay. So what is the rest of that step?
My evidence and facts.
Keep going.
For evidence, I didn't have all my notes, so I used notes that you gave us and pictures to remind me. So, the main reason why the French Revolution failed, there was 4 causes of it, which was the weak leadership of the king and queen. Also, social inequalities, which were the first estate, second estate, and third estate. Enlightenment thinking, and then the crops and the money that they made, they didn't really have a lot of it because of the drought. The main reason why it failed was their goals changed at the end. Their goal was to make a constitution and make their people free from the monarch, but they all changed it, and it turned into a revengeful revolution. So, yeah. And then for the evidence for the American Revolution, I put the most influence that they had was Montesquieu with the 3 branches of government, the legislative, executive, and judicial, and James Madison, who wrote the Bill of Rights, which limited the power of the people and the monarch, but still protected the basic rights of the people. And John Locke was the main influence for the American Revolution because he knew that the people knew that the king wasn't keeping, he was violating the natural rights of the people. Thank you.
Would you slide it?
Okay, now I'm moving on. Almost done. I'm gonna start with my DBQ for world history.
Hold on.
Okay.
Has the gate, is the gate open? Okay.
How do I pause
Just
it?
because we're probably gonna go over a little bit
How do
over,
I
why don't you
pause
guys
it?
go ahead, clean up? We'll take a 2-3 minute break really quick, so these guys can get out of here, unless you wanna stay on my shore 7, you're more than welcome to. But otherwise, have a great day, we'll do well in our own lives. Because this is a great rest first. I'm done, Miss Tina. Where's your brains at? I don't know. I'm sorry, I've just been sitting here all day.
You had so much free time.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, just so you guys know, I couldn't pause it. I couldn't find the pause button.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So they hear my sarcasm?
Yep.
Well, at least I'm appreciative. What's sarcasm? Will I be sarcastic? Anthony, use your retake sheets, but we'll make copies and then send them to your email. No, first, and my wife is not about to. Thank you. Alright, good. That's the normal there.
So the DBQ I got was with this image of that the United States is portrayed as an eagle, and the question was, according to the cartoonist, how did the United States gain all its power? My thesis was the United States gained all its power by stepping over anyone to get it, which what I thought by looking at the cartoon. Let me read it. According to the cartoonist, 10,000 miles from tip to tip. Well, I thought that explained from tip to tip of the wing. So it's covering them. So the annotations I did, what I tried to annotate, was countries under United States shadows, under its shadow. The way the eagle is interpreted shows how much power the U.S. really had. In essence, the United States shows in essence, the United States gains all its power from just taking advantage of other countries, which
Okay.
can pick that.
Let's go to that thesis there. The United States gains its power by, okay, by stepping over anyone to get it. By stepping over anyone to get it, is that specific?
No.
What's a more specific way to really get your point across?
The United States gains its power by
What words are not specific in that sentence?
to get it.
To get in.
Yeah.
What else?
Stepping over. No, hold on. Anyone to get it. Oh, yeah. Stepping over other countries or other
Okay, the countries to get what?
to get the most power, to get the most.
And where do we get power from now? What are we talking about? What do countries need in order to have power?
A imperialistic, like, no,
What is the
not
eagle protecting?
the United States. The,
Well, and then what else?
oh, the other
But what is
countries.
the United States?
The eagle, right?
What?
And the eagle,
The eagle, yeah,
Yeah.
but what is the United States protecting?
the smaller countries.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And it's
how,
pride.
how does a country get power? They take what?
The they're like,
The United States gains its power by stepping over other countries to get there.
they're
People that want water.
no to get their land.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh yeah.
Okay, so according to the cartoonist, you say 10,000 miles from tip to tip.
Yeah.
Is that specific quote? Like what is 10,000 miles tip to tip?
I think the land like over like the land from across the world, how much they have gained over the years.
Okay, so maybe something like according to the cartoonist, the United States empire or land is 10,000 miles from tip to tip. Okay,
Okay.
so you need to be specific. The more specific you are, the stronger your argument. Go with that grammar.
I don't want to anymore.
Okay, let's see what you got. We know it's a work in progress.
Okay. So
What,
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
What?
Okay. Alexander the Great died of a fever, even though I think it was symptoms. Oh yeah. I don't know.
Alright,
Okay. Alexander.
what? Alright, your C's are conjunctions, yes?
Yeah. Everything up to
I
there
mean,
is wrong.
kind of a, meh. Even though, if we put even though together, it's a specific type of phrase. Because I can pick up even though,
It's an adverb phrase. Yeah.
so does that now, what else changes?
So
So if that's now an adverb phrase,
this is
What?
not a conjunction. That is
both of those are adverbs. So what kind of clause is it?
an dependent clause.
Why?
Because you can move that whole thing to the other side and it'll still be a sentence.
Well, not enough, that's done.